Suppose you haven't been here. You get driven in like a shady car, blacked out, by this woman here. That is all. Pretty much.
Apparently I'm
Yeah,
getting
fuck that. Fuck that. I'm driving my car.
Cairo's driving. Cairo's
Yeah,
driving.
Chase will bring you here. I don't know how Chase gets
Are you
here.
serious
I will
about
make
that?
you drive. Yes.
I need a roll.
Oh.
I need
I
a
will
roll.
end you. We need a roll,
Uh-oh.
okay?
I need
Yeah,
a
okay.
roll.
Think so?
Are you gonna
Someone do the
destroy my
roll.
car? Okay, fine.
It's gonna have a lot of dents and scratches on
We
it.
start flipping.
Me when hungover.
Well,
No
Me
mind.
with
You're
car.
gonna drive
Sure do
slow.
wish.
I'm gonna teach you how to drive. I force you to drive.
Boy, I sure do wish there was some way
Are you
to make
rolling?
drinking
Is
more
someone
fun.
rolling?
Are those my keys in my pocket?
Yeah, I'll roll. Let me pull up my
Okay,
thing.
my keys.
Okay.
Pull up
Roll
your
for
thing.
yourself. Okay.
Do
Because I
20.
like doing it.
Goodbye.
8.
That's crazy.
8.
You're gonna have a really you're gonna have a couple of scratches on your car. I'm
I
just
need a
saying.
new car. I need a new car.
Literally the end of my space.
You made Cairo
it's an
drive.
8. It's not the end of the world.
Cairo drives.
If it was like
See,
under a 4, maybe.
Cairo, while driving, would have scratched a parked car, run 2 red lights, and panicked the entire time because they didn't know what they were doing.
Bro, who follows
And I was
traffic
screaming
laws
at
in
you the entire
zero?
time.
Honestly, bro, at this point,
Bro, I just fucking done it as Ranch. What the fuck?
Somehow.
Nah. You're a gaslight gatekeep girl boss, alright?
Bro,
You don't follow the rules.
there are no traffic laws if they can't catch you.
That also means Cairo makes no progress in learning how to drive.
There are no laws against the Pokemon,
No,
Batman.
That's
Do I need to sit down with you?
There are no laws on Pokemon, Batman. I'm not gonna
I
whatever the
taught
fuck
my
I
son how to drive. I can teach you.
Okay. Are we?
Yeah, the
How
dog.
ready are we? Are we ready?
What's the
I'm
weather?
The weather? The weather is Zafira.
There's a leak in the ceiling.
There's a leak in the ceiling.
Is
It's
it
raining.
is it Chase's is Chase pissing up there again?
Yes.
It is slug.
So that's why he's late. He's still pissing.
Isn't he
Anyway.
always?
We lost him on the way.
Yet he's still here. Anyway, right.
Okay,
Okay.
where is the voice? There it is.
Another leadership meeting.
We're ready. Cards up on your account.
Oh, count us down 5, 4,
4,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1.
Take the side out of my throat.
It's the place, right?
Good job.
This is
way, meeting room.
This way.
We've done this like 3 weeks now. I don't have much else
I
to
could
do
give you
now.
pointers, Cairo. Don't worry. I already taught one person how to drive.
driving a car is
It's
very
not hard
different
to
than
buff out
driving a
few
bike.
Scratches.
We had a
Yes.
driver lesson for Cairo.
You can always practice with mine, though mine's a bit more unrestrained.
Wonderful.
Don't worry.
Sure.
I will.
As long as you're fine with
Exactly.
driving without seatbelts.
I don't think I would enjoy that. I didn't enjoy this.
Well, look at it this way. You have seatbelts on a bike.
True. Fair.
Take a seat. Any seat you like.
Oh,
I consider this one.
yeah, thanks.
It is, in fact.
Alright. My understanding
is.
Chase is going to be late for some reason. Didn't specify why. Bill's a little sick. He's taking his time. And Queen is on Queen business. There's another reason why you're here, Corvus.
That makes sense.
For in the end, you are going to be acting very much as the head of intelligence, give or take. With Queen as your supervisor of sorts, to facilitate you learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Help you
I
out.
get it.
Renee, I mostly trust you to do your job. How long have you been under Logan? Don't mind me asking.
Can't say I can give you a very accurate description, but I'd say a few months.
You know what the job entails.
Yeah, it's about making sure whatever bases that we have is secured. No
And they are.
forces.
Yep. And I want you to really keep a close eye on fortifications and that kind of thing, you know? Cameras. All that kind of stuff. Ask Logan about it if needs be. Did his job pretty decently too.
Mm.
And maybe you can learn something together. Both your appointments for now are temporary. For things to die down. Understood? But
Crystal.
all the same, should be a valuable
Got
learning
it.
experience for both of you. Anyway, on to the main topic of the meeting. Ideally, I didn't want to do another meeting, but I think it's important that we talk about this one together, since we have to discuss an important detail about 2 deals surrounding the mechs. You up to something there, Wrench? Fair enough. So we have 2 deals, one from Nevrasi, another from Akikoda. Both are offers to build a mech of some kind, of some variety. I've already said in the leadership chat as to what those entail and the differences in general. If we take Aki's deal, we'll be going with a man named
hi.
Taiga in the industrial waterfront district. of
Depresso
Yoga.
and everyone else, welcome.
And he'll be building us a mech. One of us to pilot. Same goes for Nev. Nev Rossi is also offering to build us a mech, but with a stolen Kijin core.
Thank you for the follow as well.
And what that means is once Kijin sees this mech, they'll know exactly where it came from. So, in essence, we'll be taking the heat
Oh god.
of that mech being out and about from Kijin. Pulling their ire, you know what I mean?
Thank you for the follow.
But if we take Coda's deal, we'll have to pay him back somehow with a favor of some kind.
Hmm.
So it's a lose-lose, to be honest with you. But either way, we get a valuable asset, which can be used to destroy the mech quickly around Green Pit 1.
To go a little bit further about the. Well, Aki wasn't really open about what his deal would be. He just said, I have someone who will build a mech for you. That's basically it. He will deliver parts, from my understanding. So it will be no low tier scrap shit mech that we get from whoever that Kaiga is.
So Kaijin
Um,
wants us to do their dirty work then.
Give or
On the
take.
other side, Nev offered, like Mr. Deli said, the same. well, she said we also need to get a few parts for it.
That's normally how the deals go, yeah.
Yeah, but as it happens, there is someone here with a particular way of curing assets. If you want to talk, Don, you can now about it.
So, he's going to pick up the Havana coin he just placed on the table. This
Yeah, one of those.
is what we were getting paid in. At least occasionally, when we did jobs for the Havana. I personally never spent mine as I couldn't find anything to use it on. Nothing to assist us. As that was the main reason I even did any of it. Can't say for others, but I have my one. And this one coin is worth 1,000,000 credits. But only redeemable in select circles. I already have a middleman contact I trust very much. Willing to take that, do whatever we wish with it. He'll do all the dealing, I'm simply giving him the coin to pay. And in the end, I didn't even give it to him. Officially.
So those are our only two
asked-
options.
I asked a handful of questions about what he could procure with that. He would be able to get us ordnance heavy enough to attack the mech. Ourselves. Deal some actual damage to it. But I'm not leadership, and I'm not the one leading the Whisperers. I simply offer it so that everything I did doesn't amount to a whole heap of nothing.
If I may.
You may.
Similar to what Pill said, picking a choice is kind of hard here. On one end, we have Kijin, who is very vague. On top of this, if we do help Kijin with this, which is supposed to be their thing anyways, since the mech kind of proves more of a threat to the district rather than just specifically us. If we successfully build this mech for them, and they help us and we pilot it or whatever the case is, then, after the mech that we have to deal with is done, they might keep that mech and then we have to deal with another mech. But instead from Kijin. But on the flip side, with Nev, it'll be illegal, and we'll have to get our own means of building the mech without having corpo parts. The main
Nev will
negative I
build it.
see with,
Never building.
from what I understood it, we would have to help get the parts, but I guess that is a little different.
Oh, yeah, we would, but that's part of another reason why I brought up Don's whole Havana coin, is it can probably serve to alleviate the stress of curing the parts when necessary.
Expedite procurement of the parts, yeah.
Yeah.
Nev herself
So-
couldn't do anything with that, considering her current reputation with them, but like I said,
So that
middleman.
leads to my next concern. If we go with Nev's route,
What's-
like you mentioned, they would be using a core from Kijin they stole. So as soon as we deal with Strange, Kijin might see that as a threat to then make
Kijin
their own
already
mech.
sees us as a threat.
I'm aware I
At the
can
very
but
make
least.
Kijin
some-
already knows
That
where we are.
purpose.
Yes, and if we give them a mech that is in our possession, and then they have to make their own to handle ours, we're basically in the exact same spot, just a different, actual
Oh,
threat outside of Strange.
We're basically
To
giving
make
them
it
a
short,
reason to
if-
pull up the Hulk.
If we get the mech from Kijin, we will keep it. That's part
Is there
of
any-
the deal.
I mean,
Um,
that still paints a big
Assuming they
target on
don't
our
blow
back
each
from
other
other
up.
places.
It's a pay now or pay later situation. That's the way I'm seeing it.
From my
With the pay
understanding,
now,
Gus
we know what we're
mentioned
paying.
that everything from Nephrosi also comes with well, basically a death switch. So we can't use things against her.
Well, yeah, no shit. She's our arms dealer at this point.
Well, if
So-
a certain plan is still continuing, we may never have to use things against her. If we can swear.
Well, she was more than open to flipping sides, but that would cost money. Needs
Yeah, 1
security.
billion.
1 billion. Which is unrealistic
Makes
beyond
sense.
measure. But I think she can probably be flipped a lot easier if we took the pressure off a little. We reduced Tiger presence.
Easier said
Once
than
she
done.
sees that Tigers are losing, she'll be more willing, I imagine, at some point.
She wants to
Future
keep the status
negotiations.
quo. She doesn't want
As
either
far as I
Tiger
know, she's
or
also
Whisperer
wanted
to
by
lose.
Exactly.
If
So it's not
alleviating
just taking
Tigers
Tiger
is-
pressure away, it's taking Kijin also.
The only thing with that is we'd have to. Well, we can't really step in on the Tiger front unless we decide to disguise ourselves. Because then, if we do anything to the Tigers, at least on her end, why would she want to help us?
She doesn't care for them too much. She's an arms dealer,
That's right.
Corvus.
I'm aware.
To her, the tiger, again, the tigers are just a free meal ticket right now.
Well, unless she
Although-
said, as she said, Vito orders her to do something against us, then she will do something against us.
Because payroll's saying to.
Right, that doesn't alleviate concerns then. Because
But
then if
right
we just
now,
we get his attention, they'll get the payroll.
you know. But the Tigers aren't doing anything with us right now. They're just letting us fight Strange at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe because
We can
Strange is
all-
also fucking with him.
Well,
Look, we can
no,
save
I
this
think it's
whole-
more.
We can save this
More
whole
entertaining.
Neverossi and tiger talk later. Can we just focus on the mech and how we plan on dealing
True.
with it?
We did weaken one of the Tigers' forces by eliminating the casino. Maybe they're bolstering their forces, you know?
Mhm. Well, we can't really leave. Strange first. Back first. Right. So, how's the room? I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna ask, what do you think's a better deal? Do we side with Coda? Do we side with Nev? So, I'll start from my left. Don? Coda or Nev?
I'm not necessarily leadership, sir, but. I trust someone trying to sell me a gun over a corpo trying to get something from me. It's yours now. Just let me know when you want to use it.
I'll let you know. Wrench?
I'll be waiting in the car.
Here.
Hmm. Let's say we take Kaijin's deal. To go deal with the mech, we have to rely on some fuckwit that Aki just states the name of off somewhere out of zero, who just casually offers to build this mech for us with no repercussions whatsoever. Sure, we won't take any flack with Kaijin on top of that, but then we owe Aki a favor. He never said how big it is, how small it is.
I guess
Who says
it'll be
it's-
something to do with Kai. Probably.
Aki's word means a lot, right?
Oh.
Especially when the word he gave us during the raid
Yeah.
wasn't very keen or clear on the specific details involving that. Especially with Kai showing up.
And Kaijin did not quite act as well, or as... how can I put this? He didn't act as expected. I don't think.
There was
Since
more
the
to it.
violence that I heard. Yeah, there's more to it, but moreover, he promised me so long as everyone kept their heads down and there was when all the ordnance and everything was out of sight, wasn't there, that they wouldn't hurt anybody. But from what I understood, they killed someone.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. They kill the Whisperer,
They
dead
did.
in the base.
So I'm a little hesitant to take Poda to his complete word, fortunately. His father was trash, I won't lie, but at least he kept his word. You could trust it to some extent.
Then let's flip the coin then. We go with Neverossi instead. We've been making deals with her thus far to obtain certain equipment, I guess. Even if we choose not to deal with her, people are still gonna go to her to get Magitech equipment and all that shit. Regardless.
That's true. And in the end, it would earn points with her if we did choose her deal.
Especially if she asks us to go out to get parts that she needs for something, not just for the mech. Sure, I don't like the fact that she's a bloody tiger, but... she's better than most of their elk, at least. Relatively.
Yeah.
And sure, we might end up on Kaijin shit list as a result.
Probably Codus too, which is another problem.
He wants the mech dealt with. If the mech gets dealt
Yeah.
with, what's the
But it's gonna
recourse?
I'll think on that. Which do you prefer?
Nev. Ain't trusting any
Orvis.
bloody corpos.
Comparing the two, there's also things I've thought of, like, I've looked into a lot of corpos before, obviously treading carefully and not to dive too deep. One thing I've noticed is sometimes, especially since we're being vague here with Kijin, they mention they're going to point us to one of their contacts. This contact from outside of Zero will bring us parts. Not saying that they will, or it's their plan, but theoretically they could also do something of the like of helping us build this mech, but with certain parts that doesn't necessarily tie it to Kijin. So afterwards, and they have the rights to say, oh, suspicious, it's a mech. We need to have it handled after we handle the strange one. Which then leads to more problems. Very shady. Like Wrench mentioned, at least people have been doing deals with Neb before. Other types of weapons, and it seems like they're pretty true to their word, or somewhat. more trustworthy than Kijin. And at least to my knowledge, especially how Aki brought himself in when I was briefly introduced, they only seem to come to us when they want something done. And the times that we are owed something, they never really truly pay up. It's just kind of, oh, we owe you a favor, but the favor never comes. So if I were to choose, I would probably have to side with Nev as well.
Renee.
With the information that was given to us about Nev and
Man.
about this deal with Kaijin, the problem that I'm looking at is once we get on Kaijin shit list, and believe me, we already are. They've already raided our bases, so at least one of them, the Oak. What's stopping them from destroying the Oak entirely once they know that we have their core for one of their mechs?
So if I may remind you real quick, Mouse, don't forget, they can't just instantly do it because they'll have to recognize the threat of the mech. If they get careless, then we'll just use the mech. It'll buy us time at least.
Time. Well, that information. And with Nev's firepower, which can literally destroy outposts, versus Kaijins, which, frankly, I say they need us to deal with the fucking mech. Which baffles me greatly because they have their own. Literally, we have Nev got one of their cores, right? For the mech. I mean, why are they making us deal with it? Is it because they don't have enough firepower to actually deal with us? So many variables, but if I have to pick between Akikoda and Navrasi, I would probably choose Navrasi.
Cairo.
I have a bit of a better standing with Aki than many of you. I am mainly concerned with how aggressive Kijin was when this artifact core was originally lost. And with it showing up again in our possession, that aggression will be targeted toward us now instead of used to try and find it. While, yes, we have to work with Kijin, in the end we will owe a favor to Aki Koda, not Kaijin Tower. I think we should work with Aki. That is my vote.
Did you get any input from the others?
Marcus, I'm asking you. Did Hill, Queen, or
Certainly
whatever
not.
else we're missing say anything?
Chase. Gus.
They're supposed to be here. I can reach out to them afterwards and ask. I think it might be left up to a vote. I'll set it up in the chat soon after the meeting's over.
He'll
It's either that.
put within the leadership chat his opinions on the mech situation.
And he did.
If I
We need
could,
to fix the door contact. Could you? Thank you.
I could offer a suggestion. If we do go with Aki, I'd still like that coin to be used. Some way. You just tell me how.
Sure it can be.
And if you ever go with the Aki situation, or the Aki choice, can you please ask him what the favor is before we agree on anything?
I
You
can
probably
do that.
don't know.
From the sounds of it,
Probably
he wants
not.
to leave it as a blank slate that he can use whenever at his
Yeah.
pleasure. I guess.
Marcus, I'm sure another reason. I don't have to tell you on
They
why
fucking
I'd
do.
rather go with Nev than Aki. He's new to all of this. He's learning still. The whole district thinks it. Hell, I thought it sitting on my ass back in my home when he was appointed. Before I did all of this, before I joined.
No. Mm. Mm. I wanted to give Coda the benefit of the doubt, personally. But the more I hear about the past and the past dealings, it gives me a bit of doubt back in my mind. And I want to keep giving him chances, but this is a pretty big deal, and Hill does have a point in the end about should be him dealing with the mech, not us, you know? But at the same time, taking down the mech would be a good publicity thing for us overall. And Aki wants us to be, the way he termed it, the heroes of District Zero, you know?
Right.
We may not
It's-
be heroes, but we can act it, right? For the people.
We can be someone.
I
People
like the sound of that.
that people can look to. It's a pretty lofty thing, I would agree.
So long as we are the ones dealing with the mech, no matter what, it can be seen as a light of us doing something heroic, whether it be through Nev, Rossi's help, or Aki's help. We are the ones stepping up to deal with it instead of Kijin or anyone else.
Which overall, a good move, PR-wise. Though it is risky, all the same. I
It
think
could-
no matter what Nev, go on.
With the
Wanted to request,
boost
if I may leave
to
on my own
public opinion thanks to this. It could
I need to get back to the heart.
reduce the opportunity for
I will call someone to pick us
Kijin
up.
to
Hmm.
take immediate action. If we become, even for a few days, the heroes of the district, if Kijin steps forward to try and take us down, then, well, the entire district will be in uproar. They're given a beacon of hope, and if Kijin tries to take that, they won't let them.
That's true.
Mhm. They just need to find one picture of a stolen core if we take Nevrosi's road, and our heroism is done for.
Imagine.
And to remind you one more time, if we take the Magitech way and take the core, this might be the last chance that we ever gonna have a deal with Kijin or Akikoda. And trust me, after this point, things on the streets will change.
What if we ditch in?
The core? The mech?
We use it, then we ditch it.
There
It
will be
means we
cameras
lose.
everywhere.
Yeah, all the same, yeah.
How are we gonna
Well-
even ditch something like that?
But we leave it for them to find on purpose.
So they're just gonna
And-
randomly stumble upon it?
No, they'll know where it is, no doubt. They'll be able to track it when it comes online. But once the job's done, once Strange's mech is down, I don't think we can keep it. But then again, it would make us out the perpetrators all the same, wouldn't it? Yeah, we'd be the ones stealing it. The ones that stole the core, even though we weren't.
Whatever the end may be, once we pick the Nevrasi option, we'll always get the Kaijin heat.
That much is true. Oh. Two people sitting in this room already have illegal Magitech items, as it were. Kai's adamant about finding Quinn, and there's more than likely their sword.
Mm-hmm. But I
I'm
don't
pretty
think
sure Renee
that...
is known as a terrorist still.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Bit of a mistake on my part.
Actually, if I may pitch in on that point, they
Go on.
might not know their affiliation, but again, this is us thinking in the future and theoreticals. Let's say we do end up doing this, and we end up taking even Kijin's side. If we take Kijin's side and we send even one or two members that have, well, a problem, such as Mouse, or their Kai's main target, which is Queen, what happens after? Is Kai just gonna let us walk away if they're there?
Do you want to send people on foot fighting against the mech?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm asking,
Well-
after we finish handling the strange mech, if we send people that are infamous with Kijin, what's
They're
stopping
gonna get
them from just
arrested.
immediately trying to get them arrested?
Well,
Exactly.
we are not gonna send people that are infamous with Kijin. Where's the problem with that? The problem is that,
Nothing.
and Aki stated it a few times, Kai is still alive. We kind of fucked that up, okay? We had multiple chances to take him out. We never did it. And now he killed Whisperers. It wasn't Mr. Koda. It was him. And now you try to blame this on an 18-year-old boy.
I never blamed him for anything. I said theoretically what would happen if we sent someone with infamy. It had nothing to do with Aki being there himself. If they have infamy, it doesn't matter if Aki's there or Kai's there. If they have a problem with two of our members, for instance, again, two people that they've been looking for, it doesn't matter which side they're gonna go with. They're gonna want to have them arrested on the spot.
You're probably saying that even if we pick the Akikoda option, we're still in Kaijin's shit list.
Exactly. I highly doubt Aki is going to be able to keep them from being taken. Now again, true, we could send people that just aren't infamous with them. But at the time, when this happens, maybe certain people are injured to where we do have to send one of them. There's a lot of ifs.
But the most important thing is we need a mech pilot. Which, by the way, is also both sides offered to train a pilot. If Rossi offered it, as well as Aki's contact in the industrial district.
That's an important point. Magitech items are not without cost in use. The stronger the item, the worse the effect.
It's
I've noticed.
No. It's the imperfect ones that have the side effects.
The ones without an anchor.
Do we know if this mech that Nevrossi will build for us will have such a thing?
It will.
I mean, I'm
I
sure we
think
could
it will.
probably request not to have it.
No, it will.
We need it.
Oh, it's required, I see.
It's, I remember Nev talking about it. She kind of glossed over a little bit, but she said that it would sap at the person. It would drain them bit by bit. The more it's used.
Oh, great.
Then that's... If we take Nev's option, then whoever we designate as the pilot is going to be in a lot of danger. Not even from just being the one fighting.
It's the fact that they're using it.
Considering we
With no
power
death.
a mech with it, it might just kill the person in the end. I don't know that. It's a speculation.
No, it's definitely on the table. Especially if what they say is true. The bigger the weapon, the more it drains. Death isn't necessarily off the table if they do use it, and it requires a certain amount of uses. They could just outright die after handling the other mech.
Which means, if that happens, we will have all of the negatives from taking that deal, and no one left to pilot the mech that was supposed to be ours.
Not to mention a dead whisperer in our hands.
And a stolen core.
Then I would like to ask something real quick then. What's stopping us from kind of, not necessarily doing exactly what Pill said, but again, it is more of Keegan's problem than it is ours entirely just because it's strange. Sure,
It is our
they're offering
problem.
us for some help.
Because that thing's circling around Green Pit.
Right, I'm aware. I'm mostly saying Keegan's gonna have to step up to deal with it anyways. They have to. This is their district that they want to protect, right? And because that thing's just going around, even if it's strange affiliated, they're gonna have to handle it. If not, then how is the people going to even look to Kijin as protectors? Why should a gang be the one to have to step up in order to handle it?
Do we have
Yeah.
numbers on deaf people? What is the mag? Is it more aiming for whisperers or civilians?
I've seen the mech.
Is it randomly
It'll
aiming?
kill indiscriminately.
Even if
Kaijin,
it
Whisperer,
didn't have a target, it wouldn't change the fact that it's
Civilian.
still a Kijin problem.
Then, putting forward that, taking neither deal, forcing Kijin to take action. A lot more
Incite the people.
civilians, whisperers, Kijin, even tigers, anyone nearby will start dying. For a while. Until Kijin finally steps forward to take care of it. We miss out
Further, we have
on
Oh,
either
sorry.
of the deals, which means we get no mech, no Kijin core, nothing. And we miss out on that publicity chance. Kijin gets the public image boost. And more than likely both Nevarossi and Akikoda will be very upset that we stood around and did nothing.
Well, Nevrossi is an arms dealer. Yes, or she might just see the not getting the deal as, well, the other one made a better offer, and just go on with the day.
That's fair. Nevarossi might not care as much as Akikoda. Aki would probably be more furious if we forced Kijin to have to take action than if we took Nevarossi's deal. Because then we didn't deal with the mech at all, as he wanted.
So then I ask you then, real quick, you mentioned it's something he wants. Do we just bend the knee every time he wants something and wants us to do it? Or just say, oh, because they asked for it, we have to do it now?
Well,
Oh, no,
his
absolutely
Or he's gonna
exact
get upset at
words
us.
were his exact words were, "I scratch your back, you scratch mine." We could. I'm not even
It's
sure
about
if he just
negotiation.
means destroy the mech for me, and you get the mech. You get a mech for it. Destroy the other one for me. He never really elaborated that. He just said, "I
It's about-
scratch your back, you scratch mine." So,
I think we can definitely negotiate. I think there is room to do so. He can't say to do anything at all,
If
but it's something to keep in mind for future dealings.
Here's something to add to the negotiating table if we were to choose to take up Aki's deal. Get Kai off our backs.
Better yet, give us another opportunity to kill him.
Mhm.
if we do take Aki's deal, I have some better standing with them. I can try and negotiate from a positive stance.
Mhm. Right. I think
I
we
have a-
can afford to not.
Continue.
Go on.
Sorry.
Well, I think we can't afford to not do anything. We have to do something.
I agree.
Very much true.
I
If we
agree.
let
Publicity.
Kaijin-
Yeah, we
If
can't
we-
let
if-
Kaijin get publicity overall. We can't let them get that. And if we get it, it's not just about civilian opinion going up. It's also about the Whispers as a whole. Might I remind you of the Havana business?
Right.
We can improve morale across all outposts if that mech goes down. If the Whisperers can watch one of their own fighting a mech in another mech, that's pretty fucking badass. I don't know about you.
I doubt we're gonna be able to piece together a 4-story tall mech, as it were.
No, but we can definitely get one that can give it a good damn go. And that mech, overall, is to give something to equal the playing field so other Whisperers on the ground can start deploying other things too. I don't think this mech that we're going to send to fight this other mech is going to do this alone.
No. If we sent the mech there alone, it would be overwhelmed by painters and other forces. The mech is there to fight the other mech. A team will have to go with it to keep everyone else off the mech.
Yeah.
What weaponry do Panta have? Remind me again.
What?
What weaponry has a painter? Well, they could come up with something bigger when they see a mech.
We've
Never mind,
fought.
yes, you're right.
We fought a very large, multi-headed abomination of a painter before that has enough strength to punch through walls. So.
Oh, I will say no more.
Not to mention the exploding ones.
Exploding ones,
May I
the ones that are able to hack.
propose something? It might not be a good idea, and it might be risky, but if it's a bad idea, you can shut it down immediately and it's done. But from what you guys keep mentioning, mostly you mentioned that the main goal is to get Aki back in position where Kai is dealt with, right? Let's say we decide to take Aki's deal. If we take Aki's deal, maybe we can try to convince Aki to help us with something. Because more than likely, if there's 2 mechs fighting in any city block, Kijin's gonna need to be deployed in order to try to bottleneck it, reduce the damage as much as they can. Now, it's again risky and it'll be a lot, but on top of when we send a team out to deal with the mech, including the mech if we do take Aki's side, security will be lowered. And maybe we can sweep in as disguised Whisperers. Not Whisperers at all. Because then that could be seen as a target to get rid of Kai. And since we're dealing with the mech, it wouldn't make sense for us to target Kai at the same time. So if we do that, it's 2 birds with 1 stone. We handle the mech, and we kill Kai, which then puts Aki back in office.
Not bad.
Just a thought, though.
Not bad, but it relies on Kai being there at all.
From what Aki has described Kai as, he is paranoid. Especially after what we have done to him in the past, he wouldn't go there alone. And he wouldn't go there if he felt like he'd be in danger, which, with what the mech is, I don't think we could reliably get him on the same field of battle.
That's not what I meant. It's not a
He
matter of getting
means
him on the same
we
field.
do what someone else did
It's a separate
before and
operation.
go to Kijin Tower.
At the same
At
time?
the same
It's
time we're going
separational.
to.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
then, like you said, he's paranoid, he's going to want defense. But at the same time, because he wants defense, but he also has to deploy things to minimize the damage, that lowers the amount of security he has. So if there's a time to pierce the armor, it's when there's less armor stacked.
I'm not sure if the idea is sound. I'm not sure if attacking Kijin Tower will work, though. But
I don't disagree.
Worked before.
Not to mention we're also spread too thin because we're dealing with the mech.
True, but we're already gonna be spread thin after dealing with the mech. This is a good opportunity for us to do both things. And sure, attacking Kijin is probably not gonna be
Attacking
easy.
Kaijin Tower is going to be a suicide mission.
We need to rely on him leaving at least to another
That's what I was
outpost.
going to
Watch
bring
it from
forward.
the distance. We can catch him on the way to the outpost, maybe, or if you want to inspect the scenery after. That's where we can catch him.
How was he acting when he was at the Oak?
Aggressive.
Aggressive. Yeah.
He won't be able.
Probably because he lost his seat of power.
He won't be able to siphon away Kijin Tower forces from the mech combat. Not without raising a lot of suspicion and causing a lot of backlash to his actions. So his options for reinforcement would be limited. And he's trying as hard as he can to find a very specific person.
Wait.
If he has a sound lead on that exact hour,
We can bait him.
he would have to take it, or else he'd lose track of her entirely.
Plus,
Force him to move forward.
Exactly. And because of that, him going for Queen would make him antsy. And he would also think, because there's two giant mechs fighting, this would be a perfect opportunity. Everyone's distracted. Quote unquote.
He still won't be alone,
He
for
cannot
sure.
call in for reinforcement. No,
Exactly.
That's not. But he cannot call in for reinforcements. He needs to take the chance if he gets it. You're right.
He'll have whatever group he initially is able to pull from the tower itself the moment he is there. But once he deploys, he won't be able to call in reinforcements because they will be busy helping with the mech. He'll have limited troops. If the location is good enough, if we can set up the appropriate equipment, we can trap him.
Actually, another thing
And
too we could do.
I guess it helps.
Continue.
I guess it will help that this trap is going to be baited with one of our strongest fighters.
Well,
We don't need
doesn't have
strongest
to be
fighters. We need a hit squad.
that, but also, we don't necessarily have to have Queen be there physically, at least in the exact spot. Because if we wanted to, and I could try to work on this for you, I've manufactured plenty of things with cameras. In this moment, there could be, let's say we have a Queen run through an alleyway in a certain location on a camera. I manipulate it to where when on that time, when the mechs start fighting, it almost patches to their live feed as if it's the same time. And because it'll look like she's running, because, to be honest, even though we're going to be technically the ones dealing with it, people are not going to want to be near a mech fight, including potentially Queen. Maybe she doesn't want to get involved, and since she had other plans that day, though he doesn't need to know the reason. We patch in the feed. He believes that she's in a certain area. He takes his exit, starts deploying with that small squad. And maybe Queen doesn't have to even be there at all to be a target, to be zoned on. Unless we do want to have Queen there so that she can shut him up himself, but that's up to her.
Fair.
We can also bait him. Remember, he's not looking for Queen specifically. He's
what she
looking for
has.
that sword. It's not hard to make a dupe copy of it.
It
A forged one at least.
would only have to
Don't they have
pass.
scanners for that?
Depends on the
Maybe.
range.
Yeah, but all it needs to do is convince him through
He'll
camera
know
footage.
only Queen has.
Right, but that's the thing. Maybe we can have her do something. Maybe she wants to place it there to change into different clothes or whatever the case. And then, as long as it looks real in the camera, and it's convincing enough for him to actually deploy, maybe it's not the real one. And then he's out for nothing, and that's when we can catch him in his little act.
I think he would not be the first man on a battlefield. So if his troops don't see Queen hiding there,
True.
Hey, guess who? It's
Oh,
your
God.
favorite. I
You're
fucking
right.
Leprechaun.
yeah. I'm sorry. Hey, why don't you go take a seat? Sorry. Did I miss anything like really important?
how far
Pretty
are you
important.
into the Mac topic?
Just discussions.
Oh, okay. I don't need to know about that. You go ahead.
What's been
Before
pitched
that,
is
is
a gambit,
there?
I think.
Gambit.
But we'll talk about that at a later date.
Like a
Right
little
now.
column A, a
Before
little
that-
column B.
Sure.
Is
Go
there a
on,
reason why
Rich.
she's here?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we can get that done first if you want. I guess unless there's more private things that you guys want to discuss.
Let's settle this first.
Sure. Okay. All right, Neon. I've had some concerns brought up.
Demos.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought it was Neon. Change your name?
Change my logo, yeah.
Deimos. Alright, I like it. Sounds fancy. So I got some concerns that have been brought up to me from, I won't say who specifically, but I need to address these issues because they're here on my desk in front of me and I can't necessarily ignore them. So, first of all, I heard that you made some, maybe some unfriendly jokes towards some of our new bloods about fighting on behalf of the Tiger's side. Could you maybe perhaps explain a little bit about this? I can understand your side.
I wasn't aware of his current predicament where he was coming from. And that day, unfortunately, I made a very, as you said, poorly timed joke. And I wasn't aware of his current situations. I wasn't aware that he had just survived a tiger attack. That is my fault, and I do take responsibility for it, and I do apologize. I have already spoken to him, and I have expressed my apologies, and we are on an equal footing. They understand that I was joking. Which is good. But still doesn't excuse the, doesn't make an excuse that I made a really bad joke.
Yeah. At any point in time, I'd prefer you, with your background and history yourself, not make any references to the Tigers or wanting to work with them. People are in, high tensions at the moment, specifically with all the fucking Havana shit and all this other stuff, and traders and whatnot, so just be careful. My second point that I want to bring up is, you've been going to this outpost, this school, right?
Yes.
What's your intentions with going here?
My intentions is to make sure that they know without a doubt that the members of the Hollow are still nearby, are still ready to give them a hand and show them support. I've been taking Mouse and Acid with me for the first trip. For the second trip, I was going to also take Dolores and Zandra. So far, everyone's been helping the school the best way they could. I've been helping boost up their cybersecurity the best I can. Acid's been getting their research lab up and running since they lost their only researcher not that long ago because of the whole Fauna thing. To my understanding, I believe Mouse was helping them with basic combat training. and they're all taking to us being there rather well. They're appreciative. They're appreciating the help.
Rewind.
That's all I.
A lab is being built there? Or did I
No.
misunderstand that? No.
There is a lab there, but it has been, to my knowledge, decommissioned because they had lost their researcher while I was on mission there. My first mission with the protecting this person, yeah, they're a researcher. They got nabbed. So they,
Okay,
to my knowledge, they have been able to use it. So,
My next question is,
as it was cleaning it.
this school isn't one of our main outposts. It's a very small outpost compared to everybody else's. I'm just curious of your curiosity with this place and your full intentions. What are you just wanting to make these people feel safe, more close with the Whisperers? I just want to understand the intent of going here and supplying this place with more over some of our more main outposts. What's your intention?
I was actually going to bring up after this next trip, if it gets approved, I was going to go to the train yard for a bit, and then go to the network for a bit, make sure that they're also taken care of.
But that doesn't answer my question. What was your intention with going to the school to begin with?
Same as I explained earlier, to show them that even though we as a whole, as the Hollow as a whole, made a massive fuck up with everything that happened with the Havana and us killing Whispers, that nothing changes, that we are still there for them, that we are still going to give them the hand, that we're still going to help them with Strange now and with Tigers later and everything in between.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Very noble of you to do on behalf of
don't joke
those
about
that
that.
did this fuck up in the first place. Which brings up my next concern. I was told by a couple people, and I heard here and there rumor about you wanting to start a Fallen 2.0.
What?
That is another reason why I want to go to the school, is to prevent such a thing. If you take into account the Whisperers that went to school, right? They're very, very close with another member of leadership, or former leadership, as I just found out earlier. Stuff like that, if it's left by itself, it's gonna make something nasty.
And your solution of fixing this is arming the very people that you're suspicious of turning into traitors. Is it a good idea to arm them with more stuff and supply them with more things?
No, it's the idea of, if you are there with them to support them, hopefully they're not going to,
hopefully,
as I said, poorly fall in 2.0.
If
we
this
just
was a
leave it
concern
be
of yours, why did you bring this to a leader?
At the time, no.
Okay, well now I'm hearing from other people that it's a possibility and a fear of some people that you are taking a charge on wanting to divert these people in a different direction. So, do you see how this lack of communication has now left me and a couple others very heavily concerned? And on top of that, your eagerness, and granted, what you did helped us a hell of a lot, but your willingness to dive into perhaps things like the Havana. There are a lot of people that also shared concern of you being a little bit reckless in this regard, or doing things without permission, even though I believe Lucky gave you the go-ahead on doing this.
He did.
Correct? Yeah, Lucky didn't really communicate that to us all too well, and hence why he's not in leadership anymore, right? So I hope you can see where this is unraveling and why we're now talking, or at least why I'm now talking to you. Making this known to my leadership that this concern is a thing that some of our Whispers are thinking of you.
I do understand that, and I was under the pretense that when he gave me the go-ahead to look deeper into things, that he had talked with everyone here. I I should have double checked with leadership to make sure that was a thing, but I thought, hey, it's coming from Lucky. Their social intel. It's leadership. And we lose my pinky, kind of reinforce the you should listen to leadership is in order thing. But again, I should double check. As for the people who are seeing that I want to push a charge, I've been here for a while. What, 5, 6 months? Not that long. But I have proven that I will bleed green and will always bleed green, and I will die bleeding green. Yes, my actions have been reckless with information searching and everything, but that doesn't change the facts. I wouldn't want to hurt the people that brought me in, even though I owe the Tigers a lot of fucking money and all this other shit. I wouldn't want to spit in the faces of the people who had helped me out from the very beginning.
Sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have a recording of something that was said at the meat rack?
We do.
Yeah, could you touch on that for me real quick? Is there anything that I didn't already speak about here that was said in that recording that is relevant? Just hang tight while he listens to, I'm assuming, the recording.
Yeah, no, I get it. Things like this take time.
Mouse? Or Renee? Is that...
Yeah.
Is this who you're referring to when you say Mouse?
Yes.
Okay, right. And, you've been going with them on this whole school venture?
Yeah.
Okay. And how's that been going? The people seem relaxed, not relaxed, swayed?
They seem alright. But, I didn't know about this Fallen 2.0 shit.
Okay.
I believe I talked to you about it, a few days ago. When I pulled everyone into the corner to explain that, hey, I'm gonna bring these other 2 people, and keep in mind that this was brought up. This is not my intention, and I explained to you. I also had it in a text as well.
Oh, I know we're going to school. Like I said, I was there. Just didn't know about the whole Fallen talk.
Yeah, I explained that part.
And I
but
promise you,
guess-
I guess I
Nothing
didn't
else
get the
in
memo
regards to
then.
this subject.
Okay. Alright. I just wanted to bring you in here to talk about that, at least, which is my concern, that people are concerned about you, and it's my job to keep unity amongst our whisperers. Now, this isn't... I don't want you to leave and be like, oh god, fucking people are talking behind my back and all this other shit. It's just stuff that's been heard in passing, rumors that are spreading, and miscommunication that's happening. I need you to start being more clear and precise with whatever it is that you want to do and what you are doing moving forward. Because I don't want to have to stop you from going to this school and helping good whisperers help find their way. But if there is mistrust amongst us and, you know, a lack of information that's being provided to us, we're gonna have to stop you from doing what you're doing, even though it's probably good, right? Because we don't know everything and there's hearsay. So
I've already started keeping a paper trail of when I go, who I bring with me, and what are my activities, and how long I'm away. I've already started keeping track of that the first time, and upon request, I have no issue sending it over to leadership directly.
was there certain people that you didn't want going with you?
Ame.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't have a trust in Ame, and considering the fact that they didn't show any interest in this school or helping the people at the school until, as mentioned, the Fallen 2.0 comment popped up. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It made me think they wanted to go to babysit instead of help.
Which may have actually helped your case here a little bit more, and we wouldn't even be having this talk if you did let them go. Some whisperers do things out of the concern of each other, right? Regardless if it's kind of a show of distrust. Sometimes just taking that leap and giving someone a chance to trust you is a good start. But denying them from going has probably caused more issue than is worth our time and your time. Just something to consider moving forward, right?
I assumed that having the head of security would be enough to stomp out.
I did remember. Yeah, I did remember telling you that denying Ame would be rather bad because if Ame were to go in the school, you two would keep each other check. But you emphasized that Ame will not be coming. And I dropped the subject.
First of all, it's not your say to say where someone can and cannot go to our outposts in the first place. If Ame wants to go, there should be nothing stopping her from wanting to go to this outpost. Same way that no one's going to stop you from going, right?
The difference
It's
is
leadership.
If I may.
Go ahead.
She did ask Marcus to not let Ame go. So.
I remember that. It's
Did you
concern of
approve that,
unity
boss
in the
man?
end. I said to respect him. Because in the end, I'd rather people work together in harmony rather than having niggling distrust. And in the end, if people go, they don't trust each other, that will reflect on everyone else there too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Perhaps you don't have to, but I would meet with Ame and touch base.
Maybe after everything is done and settled with Wireless being stuck in the dive and everything. I'll wait until that's done, and then. But right now they're rather occupied.
Very well. That's all I need to discuss with you.
Not to mention the attack on the server happened recently, so they have more than their hands full at the moment.
Unless leadership has anything else to bring up to Amos. Amos?
Cairo.
That's all I got.
In the future, if you make plans to do things like this, denying access to other people and being very secretive about it to everyone is only going to hurt your case. You weren't doing anything wrong. You had no reason to be hiding any information from anyone.
I notified various members of leadership. I didn't think that it would still be hiding.
When you first started this within the chat, you were very vague about requesting certain people to come with you to an unspecified location. Both myself and Pill asked you about it, and you did not respond to us until we asked more members of leadership, including Marcus, to figure out what you were doing.
I could have sworn that when you asked, I gave you all the details. What?
No.
Please?
Mm.
Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Where's my thing turning off?
Anyone else have anything to say?
Anything more?
One thing that I just wish to ask them. It's nothing of grilling them or anything, but Deimos, you mentioned earlier you didn't allow Ame to join you due to mistrust or lack of trust completely. Am I correct?
Yes.
I also recall that after the meeting that we had, the massive meeting before the
No.
document went out against the Havana members.
This would seed distrust.
All that. You mentioned you had basically zero trust here. Outside of the only reason why you're staying here in the moment was to take care of those you care about. Then you mentioned later there is a small reason. May I ask who it is you do trust, since you seem to be lacking with majority of the members?
I'm gonna stand. Hold on, sorry. My body's breaking. Sorry, repeat the question.
You mentioned you have a lacking of trust with majority of the Whispers. And I'd like to ask exactly who it is that you do trust, since if you can't trust majority of the people, you're going to run out of people to take with you that haven't already gone. Though that might not be a problem, of course, if, you wish to take only up to 6 Whispers total, and slowly rotate them out, that's up to you, or them. But I mostly mean, is there anyone out, that you additionally trust in the small group that you have?
Do you want me to start listing names, or is that just like a yes or no question? I don't want to burn anyone's time.
I guess yes or no will be easier, to not waste much time. But how much small, or how much more do you have, in a vague sense? Because obviously, I don't want a specific number. It'll take too much time, or names.
Majority of people that I talk with on a regular basis is technically considered people that I'm comfortable with, people that I'm comfortable working beside. Then again, the we not me mentality. So even if I have to work with someone that I'm not very accustomed to or take a liking to, I have to, because it is for the betterment of the gang, and this would also technically apply to Ame. Which is why I should mention this now, in a way to extend the olive branch and show that I'm wanting to work on things. I have sent Ame directly my source code for the SOS program. They have full ownership of it. That is something that I wanted to keep myself, something that I made and I wanted to touch up on myself, but concerning the things that I'm currently working on medical-wise, I thought that they would have more successes with it. Me giving them that program, though I've been very hesitant to give to anyone, is my way of saying I am trusting you with a very important thing, and I'm trusting you in general.
That's all I wanted to know.
Anyone else?
Regardless of what you may believe, Neon, Ame has plenty of reason to distrust you and babysit you. Because whether you were ordered by Lucky to pursue Havana or not, your actions still endangered Cairo as a result.
I'm aware.
I just spent
So
some
don't
time
think the mistrust
rereading
from
through the IC chat.
members is
Yeah.
unjustified in any way.
No, they didn't tell me shit about where they were going or what
And
they
you
were
still
doing.
get to regain any
I
semblance
had to
of
ask
trust
other
for
people
myself.
to figure it out.
And that's fine.
We
With
plan just to leave it
respect.
like that?
With respect,
You did.
I don't wish to touch it. As of now, anyways. There's enough things that everyone has to worry about.
Very true. Stop giving us more things to have to worry about.
We'll see.
Are we settled?
Alright. Do you need me back in here, boss man?
Probably just to clean up what we've talked about already. And after that, we can probably disperse.
I'll be back.
We have a gambit, which was
Oh,
pitched,
fun.
and it's quite a interesting gambit.
Yeah, you know. Don't worry, you're not the only one.
No matter which
There is some
choice,
uncertainty around it.
there is some uncertainty. Yes. No matter which choice we make, the gambit will still be open. As a note.
That's true.
No matter what,
In that
Kijin's going to
case-
have to field forces to help deal with the ensuing chaos of this mech battle.
Since they are the police and they are the ones that wish to protect the people, they are basically obligated to. If they don't, then you could imagine how unhappy the people would be if they just let 2 mechs rampage through the city and did nothing about it.
And the damage and the chaos of them not being there to try and contain the location would be too much. But no matter what for this gambit, we'll have to discuss things with Queen. Prepare things.
Of course.
This is putting a light onto her even if she's not really there.
This
It would still
gambit
be
can
your
wait, I
reputation.
think.
Of course. It was mostly an idea I thought of in the moment. Wasn't
Not a
sure
bad
how
one.
we were
Just
received.
We focus on the problem at hand. Just the mech.
Because I don't think we can
If
take
I'm
both
going
deals.
to be personal with this, I think the best choice we have is Coda right now. Less strings per se, less problems with it, generally speaking.
Can you give me the CST time for... Sorry.
As much as Nevs is interesting, it comes with a lot of caveats and a lot of problems, a lot of cons, which are not easily resolvable.
This
And
is a
put
discussion
it-
with Nev might fix some of them.
Perhaps. We did meet with her on Tuesday.
If you want to get into contact with her further,
I want to talk to
That's
both
easy
Nev
enough.
and Kaiga. Probably gonna meet with Kaiga, guy building our mech. Probably next week, sometime. Try and
Do you
settle
know
some
who
things
the
out.
company you with?
Somebody. If you want to be around for that, reach out to me personally and we can sort something out. Probably be on next Wednesday. I would want Wrench there, personally. Sure.
I do have a couple of old blueprints for the previous mech we repurposed,
Mhm.
so I may be of some help.
I can't bring up the idea
Case.
of getting 2 mechs. It's not.
You read
Yes,
the
sir.
details about the mech, 2 mechs you've got.
Two mechs
offers.
I've got. Oh yeah,
Well,
about the
2 offers we've got.
I haven't fully read them over, but I know that the Aki kid is offering us to go talk to some other bloke called Kaiga. Have met him before, by the way, at the Mirak. He's an okay guy. He's alright to talk to. Easy guy.
I see. Alright.
I don't know much about the Nev deal though.
Well, essentially, the LDR. She's gonna make. She's offering to build us a mech with a stolen core from Kijin.
Hmm.
Now this mech will, as a caveat, drain the pilot, given it's magically based.
Oh Jesus, okay.
There's no
But
guarantee it
we'd
will
also
kill
need
them.
to procure the materials for it. Yeah.
There's no guarantee it
but
won't either.
Mm. I can probably get in contact with Nev and ask about that. What's
Have
the
we
danger
decided-
for the pilot?
Are we taking a side or taking a deal or what's
We're discussing them mostly, but there's also a gambit at play in the future potentially. But once we get everyone together, we'll talk about that in more detail. But right now, we just settle the deal as it is right now.
Mr. Dilly,
Can make.
I have a message for you. On your burner phone.
I see.
It's probably best we at least go speak with this Kaiga about the mech. See what he offers.
Right. Okay. As it happens, Kaiga's left a message here. We can meet Saturday.
Alright.
Time.
No time yet, but I can hammer one down for sure. But we have that day. Whoever's around, come along.
I'm not available for that day.
That's alright. We'll make notes. We'll leave anything down.
Then I have a suggestion, which
I really don't
make it
want
a
to
little
get
more
pulled into
concrete
LF
if,
stuff at all.
Since you already mentioned you're going to
We
meet
have
with
enough to deal with. I don't want to have to deal with them.
Then maybe it wouldn't hurt to set up something with Nev as well.
I would hope that the DMs would
details.
pretty much guarantee that
That's
that's not
easily
going to
done.
pull us into that.
Put them in the leadership chat.
That
and
is the
then
plan.
We'll have more evidence to base
my
on.
personal why are they wanting to help us with this mech thing? What do they get out of this?
Nev? They get the core out of their hands. I think is the main thing. Because the core itself is illegal.
It's gonna be fucking illegal for us as well. We
Exactly.
actually had Kaijin knocking on our doorstep a couple days ago.
That was my main concern.
I've had conversations with Nevrossi before, and their point of view on Magitech items that they create. What they get out of this is a unique creation, and they get to see it working and operating. They enjoy watching their machines work.
Or fight, rather.
Exactly.
Nev was very, adamant about a big robot brawl or something like that.
That's part of what she gains out of this.
I don't like the idea of us satisfying a tiger or working with the tiger or doing
Man.
anything for a tiger. I fucking hate
I don't
corporations.
want to have to deal with LF at all.
But
with gang.
God, do I fucking hate tigers. I would pick a I think a corp over a tiger any day.
We're not
No, I'd pick a
specifically.
tiger over a corpo any day. Fuck corporations.
You don't know tigers like I know tigers. Corps like to
Right.
keep to them fucking selves. They like to stay in the
Don't
shadows
forget
where they
for
fucking
who they
belong.
work.
We're already semi-working with the tigers because strangers take over. Don't you forget.
Bro?
That's a whole other issue.
Something that can be saved for another day, though.
Alright. Plan of action right now, it seems to go get more details. Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Works for me.
Find out
We
the pros
also-
and cons.
As a note, no matter which path we take, we need to just designate our pilot who's going
True.
to be taking on that task.
Depends on the load there the pilot's gonna take on which mech.
So we need to have someone who's capable of piloting both.
Do we
Techie
have a
then?
pilot?
Do we
That
have a
would-
do we have a pilot?
What about the what's it girl? The one that was your personal pilot at some point, Mr. Don't they have
Tesha.
a... Yeah, aren't they a pilot?
Yeah, they are. Piloting planes.
An
Yeah,
airship
sure
yeah.
not.
pilot.
This is a very
Okay,
different
I
thing.
don't-
It's
This is
far
totally
different.
different.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know the fucking difference. Okay?
No,
Whoever-
but they do have technical knowledge, which is still useful.
Whoever we
True.
designate as the pilot will be getting training from the people we make the deal with to pilot this mech. So, previous experience isn't a requirement in this. We need to find someone who is.
Regardless if the mech turns out Magitech or otherwise, the only history you've had with the mech is one that puts a strain on the user.
Why don't we try to deal with both? Why don't we take the core from Nev, and then whatever fucking Mr. Councilman gives us, we install the Magitech item ourselves. Because if they're giving us a non-Magitech mech that's not gonna kill our people, then whatever this core can do, perhaps we can install it ourselves
So-
into the other mech.
If
The
I
issue
may
is
throw
we don't
something-
know how to work Magitech.
That, and also if we get
Without
this core
killing
that was
ourselves.
stolen from them in the first place, how are they gonna view us? We just stumble.
Well, how are they
we
gonna
just
view
happen-
us when we stumble across the fucking public roads with it as well?
No, I know, but I'm saying if we take this core that was stolen from them in the first place, that they had a massive uproar, and offer it to them and say, hey, maybe we could use this, they're not gonna look at us the same. They might not even take the deal anymore.
True, but also I'd not like to take our chances being shot with a big giant blue beam in the middle of Saphira City because we're in a mech that
You
has something that they also own.
You actually have a point there, Chase.
Yeah. I
If
know.
we
It's
take
actually check the
Aki,
core.
if we take Akikota's deal, get the mech, and then take the deal with Nev, and instead of getting her parts, we give her the Kijin mech, then they can augment it with the core. We don't have to worry about getting them parts. We don't have to worry about Kijin identifying it instantly as not theirs.
You want to give a person that can manipulate Magitech that it basically fires back a Kijin mech.
I mean, they already have their core. A core that
Yeah,
was
but
But
that
not the
would be
materials.
that would be even
It's-
worse.
True.
Look,
that
here's
would
the
be-
problem. If we now don't take the deal with Mr. Council Boy Face or whatever, what's the consequences of that? And then if we rock up with a mech made from somebody else, they're gonna question the shit out of us of where we got that. And then they're probably gonna shoot us with the big blue beam instead. And I'd rather just take their mech, and then, even if they, like, break it apart and destroy it for all we fucking care, as long as we made the deal with the corpo fucks to raise less suspicion when we arrive with another mech or something else. I mean, you know.
So long as it's the same visual mech that they gave us, they won't be aggressive toward it.
True.
Yeah, there's gotta be some level of, like,
Cairo.
behind
But
the
what
shadows.
if they scan it?
The idea is somewhat worth, but then we'd be acting too greedy with it.
Fair.
It's lose-lose either way.
Yeah. What if they have surveillance on this mech? If they do, then they see us give it over to it. Well, essentially a tiger. And then they do it.
Well, you can't say that. I mean, the guy Kaiga's literally making it for us, right? So, like, we could have Whisperers watch him build this thing if you're really that fucking worried.
No, I mean that, like, if we're going to give the mech over to Nev so that they can augment it, what if they have surveillance on the mech? Because then that's a direct line showing them Nev, and
Then we have Nev do it off-site.
Well, not necessarily, because Kaiga is a neutral party.
I see the face bomb.
No, I know. I mean, true. I guess it's true.
So,
Them being neutral, they
if we
might not
just...
install as much surveillance or any at all.
Why are we still discussing this? I thought the idea right now is to get more information from both parties.
Yeah.
So unless we
Fair.
want to go back around the circle.
I
and
do think
discuss
that is the
ideas
safest
again.
option. And
I think. Alright. I think we can adjourn it here.
Alright.
Since we are guys could talk in circles all night if we don't. Hypotheticals. I'll set up something with
Let's go,
Nev and
Danny.
with Kaiga.
Yeah.
Patricia,
I
you
would
can
have
sleep.
one last request. I would ask everyone here.
Go on.
I want to visit the school.
That's fine.
I want to see how much of things are really the truth.
I'm okay with that.
Alright.
Check in, get to know the people there, figure out what's actually going on.
Yes. We need to make sure. Ourselves as leaders.
If
I will take maybe a few people for that. Not many. Not this week. Next week somewhere. Or the week after.
they give you any issue for
Mouse.
showing up, take note of it.
Sir.
Go with her. We don't mind.
Understood.
Okay.
Word of advice, if you're not looking to cause trouble, don't take anyone on the dock.
There is even a bit
Right.
of slight betrayal. We'll find out.
I see. Alright. Then we are adjourned then. I'll make the necessary arrangements with Nev and Kaiga.
Sounds good, boss man.
I do have one more thing to discuss, but that's more with Cairo. If you want to stay for it, feel free, but I'm not gonna hold anyone here.
I guess if I gotta do so.
Take care, Chase.
You too, Bugman.
The last two comes, the first two go.
That's him.
Why do you think that leak keeps pipe there? Man's got a bladder. Really short one.
Good work, you two.
shouting over a table.
I'm gonna call an Uber.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
They charge exorbitant rates, so have fun with that. This is in relation to Neon, at least. Seeing as she's more or less left techies at this rate.
Alright.
For me, it's good riddance enough, I guess. I don't have to deal with the constant sneaking around, secretive nonsense hoo-ha.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've heard and of what I've seen, I imagine she's going to try to get into another division. Another department, I guess.
Yeah.
After the shit that came out, I doubt, well, she ain't going into intel anytime soon, so the likely culprit will be medical.
I'm aware of her intentions on trying to join the medics.
Are you aware of the punishment and conditions I've put in place in regards to her, predicaments? That, yeah.
I'm very aware. If she ever tries to get them replaced, when she has not earned them, they will be removed again.
Do you know why
She
that
dis-
punishment had to be enacted in the first place?
Because from what I remember being spoken of before, she disobeyed, disregarded direct orders from you.
That was the breaking point, I guess, where I couldn't take any more of her shit. The full rundown of that entire debacle was, where do I start? Well, I guess the most recent thing would be shooting another whisperer who was trying to help them out of paranoia. So a lot of the words she spoke, some of the words she spoke here are very hypocritical in nature.
Yep.
For whatever reason, I don't know where it's gone now, but she's always shown some sort of hostility towards Corvus. I don't know why. It literally doesn't make sense, so I'm just lost on that point. Someone who has attempted to run off to go play a game of hide and seek or whatever insane dealing that Elizabeth had with her, which resulted in a couple of people having to chase her out and bring her back.
Yeah. I remember that. I believe it was either Robin or someone else fell off a building and hurt their legs trying to chase her down after that.
That was one incident. That was part of the other where everyone had to try to calm her down for that. The amount of time she ends up running out of the hollow of the oak, out of the whispers, on her lonesome, makes me draw a connection between someone that was excommunicated from the gang. As much as I don't want to make that comparison, I literally don't. I don't know.
I see it. You're not crazy in thinking that they're connected. Very
She's also
similar.
someone who... Aeon's also someone who, regardless of whatever debt she has to the Tigers, will still talk, interact, and compromise themselves to lieutenants. To Granger.
Yeah,
I think it was him.
I read that report.
And to top it all off, when I have to state multiple times, clarify, explain why I want something done when it affects the gang as a whole, to the point where I have to actually order it to be done, and for that to be... The thing about that is, it took a literal 5 minutes to complete. So I don't know why I got so much flack for it. All of these reasons combined led to that punishment. Which is a very light punishment, I think.
Yes.
And a punishment that could have been easily Ranesh had she learned to talk to the leadership, talk to me even, communicate with us, keep us in the loop, stop being so secretive with everything. Actually prove she's not a liability, but a...
Asset.
an asset. She can be trusted.
Fair.
If she did all of that, she would have gotten her fingers back. I still have Dawn on instruction to wait for whenever she proves herself to get those attached, though. With recent events, I doubt that's going to happen.
She's still in the transition period between medical and tech for now. They're doing a lot of tests, a lot of training, but they haven't completed it all yet. I do not plan to be lenient with her. Ever since I was in charge of medical, everything within it, everyone within it, has done great work. The only hiccups I've ever had were social disputes between Joy and Sandra, which have been dealt with long before Joy's passing, and Ame's cyberpsychosis flare-ups, which are receding. She's getting better. If, when she finally makes the full transition, she continues her ways and continues causing problems, I will be dealing with it with a far sterner hand.
Hopefully sterner than I can offer. I felt like I was very lenient compared to other people, or how this gang used to act. I thought I gave as many chances as I possibly could to rectify all these issues that boil up. She acts like a kid. She acts exactly like Trace, like a kid.
Yeah.
Who's throwing a tantrum. The moment someone says something in the group chat that she doesn't like, she just mutes it. Like, I don't know.
I saw. Believe me, I saw. I've been tracking ever since Rosie updated our visibility. I've been tracking.
I don't know if you plan to accept her into your division after the events that unfolded with Havana or whatnot?
It is. However angry I am at them, they have one chance now. Becoming a medic is their last chance to prove themselves. If they fail, then they drown. And no matter what, no one's throwing them a lifeline this time.
Why did everyone in my division turn out so shit? The only people I don't have a problem with are the fucking Mechis. Because they don't cause any undue issues with techies I have to deal with. Had to deal with Neon, I still have to deal with Trace, Wireless. I just lost I basically lost Corvus to Intel at this point, so there's no point in that. Robin's getting closer and closer to her deathbed, so... With researchers, you have Sloan fucking off to kill a bunch of whispers at the fucking school. Ben's drowning himself in magic, research, and other bullshit, especially with that fucking sniper out there. I can't really consider Lee a researcher anymore, considering she's more involved with our magical department division at this point. I only got Bruja to rely on there. Acid's a drug dealer, fucking whatever he is, whatever they are. I don't know how. I don't know how Wall managed to deal with any of this, or if he even got to that point to deal with any of this.
I'm not sure. I wish I really understood a lot of this better.
Me too. But those are most of my concerns as far as Neon goes, at least.
They're shared equally with me. She's only still alive.
Our fingers are
because
still
of what
in.
Vic has done. Convincing he's done for both Ivana and myself. They squander this chance. There won't be more.
Hopefully. This is the last time. Oh, fuck. Really built this fucking cabinet.
I still don't think you should be doing that.
It's normally when I just
have to deal with bullshit. Besides, like I said, other things are doing a better job of killing me than this.
Hmm.
If it's by coincidence, I don't mind people giving us the hero title, but you're setting up people to be pariahs and martyrs. Because the last time anyone referred to me as a hero, I was blackened, bruised, and broken into an emotional husk of this. I just don't want it to happen to anyone else. Need a ride back?
Yeah, sure. Man.
Good. Yeah.
Man.
Yippee! I couldn't play more, like, frustrated or...
Mm-hmm. Alright. Thank you all, of course, for watching. Of course, as always, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye!